Hey folks, welcome to a really quick market wrap. Before I go into the markets and last night's debates, I want to talk about tonight. We'll be going live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight on YouTube. There's a link down below for Thursday night stock charts live. We're going to be going over the weekly charts, so please join us there. If we have time, after I go through members' stock chart requests, if I have time, I will take requests from the audience, and I'll go over your charts if you are so inclined. Okay, so let's talk about the markets today. The markets, as I mentioned yesterday, were going to go higher. I still think that they're going to go higher, but I think you're going to see weakness in some of the technology names, the mega cap tech names, the chip Q names. I think the semis should continue to do fairly well. Now, what I am really bullish on are the industrials, energy. Energy did very, very well today. Did you know that today was the first day, we own Exxon, was the first day since August the 11th of 2020 that ExxonMobil closed above its 20-day moving average. Think about how beaten down that stock was, and we were buying it near the lows of its recent trading range. Now we're up on the trade. I do think it's going up higher, but because we bought where we did, we're getting paid over a 10% yield on this trade at current. This is a core position, will remain long for the longer term. Now, U.S. Steel. We had sold U.S. Steel up in the 9s. It pulled back to the low 7s, high 6s. We bought back in very large position. We sold half of that position today. We're going to keep some of that position. Why? It's because the old stodgy names, the recovery names, the reflation names are doing very, very well. So we want to be a part of the reflation trade. Now, we haven't traded the airlines as of yet, but they were up big today. Bullish key reversal bar on the airlines. No breakout yet, but very, very close to a breakout. I think that they're going to front run the bailout package, which both sides of the aisle admit has to happen. They will be bailing out the airlines for a second time. Is it right? You can't lose the airline sector. Will there be a shakeout of the weaker airlines? No doubt about it. Most airlines, or at least half of the airlines out there, will not survive even with a bailout. They're done. It's a horrible business model they have. I digress. We did begin buying the cruise lines yesterday. Very small position. I'm very concerned about headline risk. So we're staying very small there. We don't know whether there are going to be secondary offerings. I do know that Carnival and a number of other cruise liners are taking a lot of capacity offline. I mean, they're literally scrapping ships now. And they're doing what the airlines did many years back. They reduced capacity. That way they were able to raise prices when the economy turned around. So I think that's the model that the cruise liners will be following. What else does that mean? It means that they're not going to have as many employees. So it's horrible from a human perspective, but from a business perspective, it's a good thing. They're setting themselves up. So the debates last night. I think that what we could take away from the debates, obviously, Vice President Pence won. I will say that Senator Harris did a fairly good job. However, she just said bold-faced lies, easily refuted on Twitter, which they were. She said that she would not damage the fracking industry, but there's plenty of videos out there saying she and Biden would certainly do away with the fracking industry. So the big trade I'm seeing set up here is that you're seeing solar stocks front run a Biden election, but you're also seeing fossil fuel stocks beginning to move back up. ExxonMobil, Chevron, for the first time in history, had a larger market cap as of yesterday than ExxonMobil. It doesn't hurt that when ExxonMobil was kicked out of the Dow Jones, that a lot of funds were forced to sell it. So I'm still bullish on the market. I am concerned about technology. I don't like the volume on many of the technology names. We're going to be going over them tonight on a weekly basis. How are these charts setting up? We have a short position on the triple Qs. Right now, it's acting as a hedge. That's it. I am not net short this market because I believe that you need to be net long at current. But I do want to have a toe in the water to the short side just in case anything goes wrong. Bonds were up today. And I predicted it yesterday with members on Market Wrap that we would see a tick up in bonds, and we got that today. However, to me, it looks like a dead cat bounce. So might we see a new higher high on bonds? Sure. But I'm a bit concerned that we rolled over yet again. Because if Biden gets in, it's bad enough if President Trump gets in, because we're still going to be monetizing debt. If Biden gets in, they're raising taxes and monetizing debt at the same time. That's nightmarish. And the dollar today, which popped yesterday, bearish key reversal on the day today. Is it a sell signal? Not quite yet. Gold firmed up, broke out today. The miners were up today as well. So the market is beginning to tell us a story that you're beginning to see strength in the precious metal names. Silver, not so much so. Gold to a greater extent. Uranium to a lesser extent. But you are beginning to see traders begin to hedge a Biden victory. Now, I wouldn't chase a rally in the gold miners if they get too far ahead of themselves into the election, because if President Trump wins, and I do believe that he will, and I'll tell you why in a second, you're going to see gold probably roll over. Now, why do I think that President Trump is going to win? It's not because I'm a siloed conservative thinker. I am fiscally conservative, a libertarian in terms of social aspects. So I'm quite open-minded. Why do I believe that the president will be elected? A couple of reasons. One, I think the internal polling of the Democrats is not favorable. How do I know that? I know that because Nancy Pelosi came back to the negotiation table first for a deal. I was shocked. With politicians, you always have to watch what they do. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. She came back to the negotiation table. The question is, why? Supposedly, her candidate is way in the lead. Why cut a deal? Torture the American people a bit longer. Why not? Won't it help your candidate? Then you had the president walk away from a negotiation. What does that tell me? Even the president, I'm going to say, I'm not going to listen to what you say. I'm going to watch what you do. Well, what that tells me is that the president's internal polling numbers are better than even that he's going to win. What else reaffirms my opinion that the president has internal polling that is very favorable. He just walked away from a debate, a virtual debate with Joe Biden. Joe Biden needs the stage. The president doesn't. If he needed the stage to improve his polling numbers, he would go for that debate so he could hammer Joe. But that's not what's happening. The president is showing strength. Vice President Pence did a great job last night. I have to say it. Kamala Harris did a better job than what I expected, but nowhere near the show that Vice President Pence put on. And in closing, folks, we're going to be talking about the weekly charts tonight. Join us, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Use that link below. Join us live. I'll catch you there. Everybody have a profitable trading day tomorrow and a great weekend. If I don't chat with you, be well.